everyone, Panda here with Yara Sophia, and today we're going to finally review my thoughts on the game Resident Evil 4 on the PS2. I'm fully aware that this game came out on multiple systems, but I owned it first on PS2, and I'm too lazy to take my GameCube from my dad's house and buy the GameCube version. So that's why I played it, and I'm not going to get the stupid remakes on the Xbox or whatever they were on. But anyway, the story is, you're Leon S. Kennedy. Apparently after Resident Evil 2, instead of being a cop for like one day, you apparently were qualified enough to become a government agent simply because you survived. I guess in a way that would make sense. So you're contracted to be the bodyguard for the president's daughter, Ashley Graham. But as soon as you get this assignment, whoop-de-doo, she gets kidnapped and somehow taken to rural Spain. And I don't know how they found that out, but they did. So you're sent alone to rescue the president's daughter and bring her back safely. Now, of course, if we went by the actual plot and it made sense in a way, this would have been a 5-minute mission. But there's all sorts of random-ass twists and turns. There's crazy boss fights. There's some small backstory moments. There's some crazy, all sorts of crazy shit goes on. So of course it takes way longer than 5 minutes. But basically, that's the story. The story is you become a government agent. You're sent to protect the president's daughter, but she gets abducted, and you have to rescue her and find out what the fuck is going on that they would want her. So yeah, and then of course the happy ending, blah blah blah. I also did the story mode for Ada called Separate Ways, and the little action side adventure assignment Ada. Ada's story is different. She's kind of behind the scenes of the whole Leon story mode, but she does reveal things that you might not have noticed during the Leon story. So they're both campaigns that I think are worth playing right off the bat. Because if you play the Leon one, you're going to want to play the Ada one, because I think it's a tiny bit better, and it explains some stuff that you might not have noticed about Resident Evil 4 Leon's story. But I'm going to review this game as a whole. I didn't play the Mercenaries, but I've played it before off camera when this game first came out. It's pretty good for what it was. Pretty good. But anyway, the story, you know the story about it, I've told you. But the story for me, I felt like it's been done before. Like the whole save the girl, weird conspiracies, all sorts of stuff happens to stop you from getting your objective. I'm going to give it a 6.5 on the story. Simply because I think the story's a little bit tired, just because it's been in so many games before. But Ada's story I like a little bit better. I'm going to give hers a 7.5, because it features some stuff you might not have thought to look into or wonder why it happens so much. There's some pretty good stuff that goes on in her story mode that kind of fills in a little bit of the gaps for some people. But overall, I think it's a great game to play. If you want to try Resident Evil, I say try this one, and also try one of the classics, because they're completely different. Resident Evil 4 was the first game that really departed from the classic Resident Evil formula. Now the gameplay is where I start to have a tiny bit of a problem. It's good, but it's bad at the same time. It has the laser sight, which I love in every game when you have laser sight. But the problem with the laser sight is it tends to fuck you over. If you're off by even a split second, sometimes it can completely fuck you. And those asshole Ganados like to duck. The Ganados are pretty generic enemies. You expect them in every game. And that's fine and dandy. But they do add a few characters, but they're kind of predictable. Dr. Salvador, you got main boss fights, you got sub-boss fights that lead up. Hey! Yara! Knock it off. Sorry about that. My dog's being a pain in the butt, and I'm about to throw this at her. Knock it off. Come here. Be a good girl. Help me review. Sorry about that. But anyway, I think the enemies are pretty generic, and what kills me is you can't move and shoot. I mean, I know, you can play the game without moving and shooting, but I shouldn't have to. A lot of games with action, adventure, horror, whatever they call this genre anymore, I shouldn't have to play like 500 games before I can move and shoot. It's something I swear to God, after every game, some group asks for. Why can't we move and shoot? It would be really nice if we could move and shoot. Apparently, Leon, his gun is so heavy that whenever he raises it, he must firmly plant his feet on the ground and not move in order to avoid losing his balance and falling on his ass or something. But there's two different things you can do. You can do the weapon, or you can do melee attacks. Melee attacks, like if you shoot the leg or the head and they're temporarily stunned, you can run up and like kick them or something. They need more of this. I hate that I have to shoot them in the leg in order to incapacitate them in order to physically attack them. Now, is it always the best maneuver to just run up and punch a dude? No, it's not, but it would be nice to have had the option to be able to just run up and start a melee attack right away. And like chain melee attacks. I guess they figured maybe that would be too easy, and you would be, I don't know why, but the gameplay overall is pretty good. I thought it was pretty good. I thought it was a little easy at times though, and then there were times where it felt like they should have given you more ammo, because the merchant in the game doesn't sell ammo ever. The only way you can get a full clip of ammo is if you upgrade your capacity, and I think you can upgrade your reload speed, and it might give it to you too, but I felt that that was kind of annoying, that sometimes all you get is money. You get money out the ass in that game. I bought like 7 rocket launchers during my Leon playthrough, and it seemed that it didn't matter because I never got the handgun ammo or the shotgun ammo. But I had so much money to buy all this other crap. If I could have bought ammo, I would have. Ada's gameplay is really good. It's the same thing, essentially. Less boss fights, obviously, because her story mode is much shorter. But I thought her gameplay was good again. Can't move and shoot. Melee attacks are limited, but overall, let's give it a 6. Because that not being able to move and shoot, the lack of melee attacks, that kind of bothers me in a game where they claim that they're now an action series. I should be able to do action-y things. But, whatever. Improvements will be made eventually. The atmosphere of the game in the beginning is great. You're in this freaky village with these ganados, which is cattle in Spanish. They're like these people that were taken over by the virus. By the way, to add to the story, they're not actually zombies. They're just people with parasites in them. So they're technically not zombies, which is disappointing for a Resident Evil game. But the thing is, the atmosphere is awesome at first. It's a creepy village. It looks like a village that was pretty peaceful on its own, a little house on the prairie, but it lends a certain creepy atmosphere at night. And then you go on to a castle, which I guess is the castle of the Castellan that pretty much runs the whole village. It's a little long. I felt like it went on a little too long. And then you end up going to a mysterious island that looks nothing like the rest of the game. It's so out of place, if you ask me. Like, I understand progression, you kind of got to go a little out of the box a little towards the end, but it's like, that was just weird. It really didn't feel like it had much of a place. It really didn't to me, but the castle kind of made sense. Way too long, though. Like, they could have cut some of those rooms. Some of those rooms didn't need to be there at all, but I thought the village was the best. Honestly did. But all the stuff that you do in the individual areas, there was some pretty cool stuff that goes on in the individual areas. So for the atmosphere, game, setting, I'll give it a solid 7.5, because I think what they did with the village, they did right. And the castle, they were a little too crazy on throwing in weird traps and rooms and stuff. But the island made no sense. Some guy working on the development is like, hey Steve, we need to make an island facility. We don't need 2 levels. We need 3 different levels of places to go. And we're going to do all sorts of crazy shit. Nothing from the village or the castle is going to be there. It's going to be crazy as hell. It's going to be balls to the wall. Nothing's going to really matter. It felt like some guy really did want to just put this idea in so badly. Like, he watched too many like Rambo action movies and he wanted to put some weird freaky facility on an island in there way too bad. But the other levels were good. There's actually a level in Ada's story mode. It's like a naval ship area. They like have a naval ship in like inside this one building. And I thought it was actually pretty cool. It was a cool level to do. I heard a rumor that was originally supposed to be in the Resident Evil 4 Leon story mode, but they cut it for whatever reason. It actually would have made more sense to stay in there than the stupid island. I actually kind of liked it. Now I'm going to have a separate rating just for the bosses, because I thought the bosses were pretty unique in this game. You have some major bosses, you have some sub-bosses. I thought the bosses, some of them were challenging in a good way, and I felt some were just kind of stupid. Without giving spoilers, there's one particular boss fight where all I need to do is shoot a certain area of this boss and then take a rocket to its face. Now, given you can do the hard way, but it's like, why would you make it that retardedly easy? It seems so stupid to make it that easy. And it was a major boss fight. This was a main boss fight. This wasn't this is a guy that you happen to encounter. No, it was a major boss fight, and I thought that was a big issue that they did that. Some of the bosses I think were way too easy to kill, but some of them had a cool challenge, or you had to do like a puzzle or something. Like the one you gotta do a puzzle on, like these I don't remember, like these cargo bins. That was a cool one. It required a little bit of thought and stuff. It was really neat. So for the bosses, I'm going to give it a solid 5, simply because some were bad and some were good. I can't really lean one way more than the other. Ada, she only had really like 1 or 2 boss fights, so hers was, I can't even really rate it because there were like 1 or 2, but they were pretty good. And overall, I gotta say, the assignment Ada, I definitely think it's fun if you want to do something quick. Like, I did it in 4 parts. That was like 20 minutes. It was like 20, 30 some minutes. It's a real quick thing, but it's fun because there's action. It's not like you just literally run through the entire map and boom, you're gone. I mean, you could if you really wanted to, but it's definitely something you should definitely try. It does limit you because you don't have a knife. You only have certain weapons. You can't upgrade them. You can't buy items. It's pretty cool in that manner. Got a little small case to keep all your shit in. You got a plethora of fights and stuff. It's cool. It's cool. Mercenaries, I'll say, even though I didn't play it, I'll say that if you do like a mercenary style thing, you could definitely try it. There are characters that you unlock for like getting certain stars in each level or something, or with certain characters. Definitely try it. I showed them the characters that you unlock. And some of them, when you get them, they have ungodly amazing weapons. Ungodly amazing. But I definitely recommend trying out all the bonus modes for sure. Separate Ways story was really good. It was short, but it wasn't too short to me that it felt like it didn't need to be in there. And it didn't drag on, thank God. I hate when a sub-story drags on forever. Leon's story, like I said, Castle went a little too long. And I gotta say, I know this goes with the story, but I can't stand the character of Ashley Graham. I can't stand her. She is the embodiment of every sexist female stereotype. She plays a dumb blonde. She doesn't have any funny quips or lines, but then again, neither did Leon. She gets captured all the time. She acts like a spoiled brat. She actually can't go down ladders. She makes you catch her. You have to catch her because she can't simply climb down the ladder. No, she's too important for that. You have to catch her fat ass every time. And that's like the most frustrating part of the game, I swear to God. And the fact that she almost instantly dies from everything. Everything almost kills her. You're going to see a part in my playthrough where I accidentally insta-killed her, and it made me crazy. So Resident Evil 4 came out, what year did this come out? 2005, really? I thought it was 2004. 2004, 2005, whenever. At the time, obviously, games have come out since then that have obviously improved over this, but I'm going off based on what was going on then. The graphics on the PS2 were probably the worst. The GameCube and other versions are probably way better in graphics. The story is a little tired, but if you're into that sort of thing, definitely go for it. Go for the bonus content if you get this game more than anything. The bonus content is awesome. It really is. And the stuff you unlock when you beat certain things is pretty good. You unlock some pretty cool stuff. You unlock the Matilda, which is actually a useless handgun. It's a handgun that fires 3 bullets at a time. You unlock the Chicago Typewriter, which is like a Tommy gun. You unlock a rocket launcher. It's all good stuff. Hey, knock it off, dogs. Not again. Not again. Anyway, my review overall of this game, I'm going to give it a 6.5. Because I feel like it, at the time, it went in a different direction of the last game, Code Veronica. It definitely took a departure from the classics. Some people like that, some people don't. I actually kind of prefer the classics. If this had no Resident Evil title in it, I would think it was a great action game, but I was kind of expecting it to be scary, or at least some zombies. So I can't give it a 10. I can't give it anything higher than like a 7 at most. And I just felt like the characters, Ashley was awful. The castle went on a little too long. But the side content really, for me, saved this game. The side content made it worth playing that entire story mode, because then I unlocked all this cool stuff. And honestly, I wouldn't really buy it anymore because it's probably being sold for $10, $20. You could probably rent it and beat it in a day or two, so I wouldn't recommend buying it because you'll just end up trading it in, because you can't play it online as far as I know, and there's nothing really to do once you beat all the extra content in the story mode. Except unless you want to get the alternate costumes, which the alternate costumes are stupid as anything, but that's Panda Lee here. My vote for Resident Evil 4, I'm going to give it a 6.5. I think it's a solid game for what it was. I think it could have been improved, definitely. And that's my rating. Join me next time when I review another game. And also, I don't review fighting games, so there's no Tekken review. It's not going to be a Dead or Alive review. I don't review fighting games because you got to review it competitively and casually, and I don't play competitively. Well, that's it, everybody. See you guys later.